Okay, today we're going to talk about the modes. In the last lesson, the first lesson, we talked about uh, the 12 tones, 12 semitones in a Western scale. We talked about what the major scale is, which is basically all of the natural notes. And we talked about the Ionian mode, or the C major scale, which is diatonic, which means it has 5 whole steps and 2 half steps. We talked about all that. You can go back and listen and refresh on that. So just to reiterate it, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And we learned that playing every other note will give you the chords that go along with that scale. C major, D major, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and then C on up, okay? So C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C, okay? Then I did some demonstrations where we had a 1, and then we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. So we did a 1, 4, 5 notes. And so that would be C major, F major, G major. All right? And just to reiterate, I'll play a little bit here just to show you. We got the C major, F major, G major, back to C major. Okay, so you can play 1, 4, and 5. You can throw the A minor in there and the D minor in there, and it all works good. So I think in the last time I did C major to A minor, so A minor, F, G, C major. Okay, so in songwriting, if you play the 1, the 4, and the 5, you can't go wrong. Those are kind of like the main tones, the main places where you can land and be safe when you're writing a chord progression. Thinking in terms of, always returning to the 1 to start the next, you always want to bring it back to the stable 1. So now we're going to talk about modes. So modes is simply applying the same thing, but starting in a different place in the C major scale. So if I start, say, in D, now let's take A minor. If I start in A, play every white key, I'm now playing the Aeolian scale, the A minor, natural minor scale. Natural minor because you're playing all natural notes and you're playing a minor scale. But listen, if I play the A minor scale over a C chord. So here's a C chord. Hear how it sounds major? It's taken on a major sound, even though you're playing a minor pattern. Is sounding major because you're playing a major chord underneath it. These are all harmonizing with a C major chord, so they're going to sound major. So if you're going to shift to A, also shift your chord to A. Now play the Aeolian mode. Okay, so that's the mode. It's two parts. It's playing from A to A, and it's playing the A minor chord as the bass chord. So that means A minor becomes 1. Okay, now if we play a 1-4-5 pattern, we're going to be doing the same thing we did in C major, playing a 1-4-5. But take a look at the difference. Here's a 1, the A minor, A, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a D. So A, D, and the 5 is E. Now look here, the A is minor, the D is minor, and the E is minor. So we're playing in basically a minor key, even though we have never left the key of C. We're playing the chords of C, all the notes of C, but we're focusing on the A. So it's not really in the key of A, it's in C major with the focus on A. That's what a mode is. It's a focus of a major scale. You focus on one area and it's called a mode. And it's more specific than just saying A minor scale. It is a scale, but more importantly, it is a mode of C major. So if we apply the 1-4-5 progression, we have the A minor is 1, the D is 4, and the E is 5. So let's ad-lib a little bit to that. To D minor, E minor, Okay, so that's essentially what a mode is. Now let's go to a D just for one more. We have a D, or D is over for 1. There, I keep landing on the wrong one. Excuse me. There's a D. That's a D minor. Now if you go to the 4, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a G, and you go every other key, you have G major. Then you go to the A, which is 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a minor. So in the Dorian mode, you have the 1 is a minor, the 4 is a major, and the 5 is a minor. Okay, so let's hear how that sounds. We'll start on D and focus on the D chord. Here we go. 4, minor, Okay, so I just played in Dorian mode. So what you have to do, essentially, is you just have to kind of go over that until you get the idea, you know. And let's take the Aeolian mode, for instance. If you play an A minor, the next one is B. That's that diminished chord. So you want to skip that one in most of your playing, because it's a kind of an unstable chord. So you can use the 1, the 3, the 4, 5, and 6, and even the 7 because you're skipping the 2. So if you write a progression in A minor, you could do 1, 3, 4. Let's try that. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5. Let's do a little ad-lib. So 1, then 3, 4, 5. Three, 4, 5. Okay, so all I did is play from A to A and think in terms of A to A instead of C to C. Trying to have my home keys as 1, 4, and 5. And play my chords over here, okay? So that essentially is the modes. And people say, well, what happens if you want to play in F sharp minor? Okay, well, if you're playing the Aeolian scale, and I'm not going to go deep into this today because that would mean another half an hour of video recording. But if you're starting on an F sharp and it's Aeolian, that's the 6th note of a major scale. What is the major scale? F sharp is the 6th note of what major scale? And that's where you start twisting your brain in a knot when you're thinking about modes and all of that. F sharp. Well, let's just touch on it, okay? If I'm in C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. Okay. So since 6 is closer to 1, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What does it take to get back to the 1? It takes 1, 2, 3 half steps. You're on 1, 1, 2, 3. So if you're on 1, F sharp, Aeolian is the A major scale. That's how you figure it out. F sharp is the relative minor of A major. That simply means it uses all of the same notes. Okay? So I'll give you one little piece of thing to chew on here. If Aeolian is the same relative because it shares the same notes, so is D minor, because it shares the same notes. It's just starting a different place. So all of the modes of a major scale, of any major scale, all of the notes in that mode have the same notes as the parent major, okay? So if you're going to play an F sharp Aeolian, work out the chords by going every other note. So we got an F sharp. There's the 2nd note, and we'll skip that, play the 3rd note, and 2 more. Skip that one, 2 more. Is that right? F sharp. There it is. Skip that note. have the first note of F sharp minor. So it's, and then we skip that one, play that one. So anyway, that's getting into a whole different topic. When you start changing keys, you simply have to think in terms of the just like C major is 2 2 1 2 2 2 1. F sharp is 2 2 1 2 2 2 1. Right? Now you have the major scale. So if you start on the sixth one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. And you have F sharp minor. So anyway, so just to recap, if you're playing in C major, you're going to go to one of those notes and play in that mode. A minor is, you're going to make the chords match. If you start on A, you make A minor your chord. And you count your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, starting on the A. So the 4 and the 5. So make your chords. And that's essentially modes. And there are modes within modes. There's all kinds of deep trails that you can take. But to write a song or to make a track is pretty straightforward. You stick to the basics and play the basic chords, and you can make lots of wonderful music. If you want to get more exotic, you can extend the chord. So let's say you got a C major. If you follow that every other key up, now you got a major 7. Add one more. Add one more. And you have extended chords. You can also alter a chord. So let's play C major. Now let's raise the third. What if you lower that? What if you raise the first note? Wow, I don't even know what the name of that chord is. Maybe it's C add 2, right? Because I changed it to a 2. Recognize that song? Okay, what if I raise the highest note to a 5th? That sounds nice. What's the chord name? I'd have to figure it out. Let's lower the 5th. Can't get away with that on a guitar, but you can take any chord, I don't care what it is, A minor. Let's raise the first one up one and see what we get. That sounds interesting. Let's lower the second note. Let's raise the second note. Let's lower the fifth note, or the fifth, the highest note. Let's raise it. So you can experiment, find all kinds of nice sounds. You don't have to know what you're doing, just if you find something that sounds good, play it. So let's do the A. So you can just play around, find all kinds of wonderful things. The one thing you want to avoid, and I'm going to show you a drastic one, is playing chords on the very lowest notes on the piano. Because what sounds good here sounds like this down here. You almost can't recognize what the chord is. That's a C major. There's clarity, there's chaos. So if you're playing down real low, play one note. And it'll be minor or major depending on what you do with your right hand. Major. If you want minor, major, minor, but if you play a chord, you got mud. So what if you play just two notes, the one and take the middle one out? That's better. So effect in music. If you play an A minor here, now if you lower it down, take that muddy note out. Sounds darker, right? What if you play even lower? Play even lower. Even lower. So not only does major and minor impact your playing, but where you're playing in the octaves. As you get to the lower end, you need to reduce the number of notes. Most likely you'll need to go all the way to one note, because it starts sounding muddy, and it has to do with the frequencies that you're playing. And I won't get into that, but it has to do with the lower frequencies get muddy real fast, whereas the higher frequencies get cleaner as you go up. So anyway, that's modes in a nutshell. If you have questions, feel free. On the next session, we've got an understanding of major and minor and the basic understanding of the modes. So in the next lesson, I think what I'll do is show you how to take your keyboard and apply it to a synthesizer to make ambient backing tracks. And you can make ambient backing tracks with a piano too. I guess I'll touch on that briefly. In your DAW, let's take this window here and make it a little larger. Let's see if we can get this to go a little larger. Okay. I've got a DAW here, and you can use any DAW you want to. Let me stop it recording. And now I want to show you, all you got to do to get ambience is you can create a bus and put reverb on it. You want to make that reverb really heavy. Let's see if I can get it to come up here. There we go. Bring it over here so you can see it. You want plenty of reverb. Let's change to cathedral. And there's quite a bit there, but let's increase it up. Let's do it on the piano though instead. And any DAW works this way. It just depends on your DAW exactly how you get to where you're going. So we're going to add heavy reverb here. And now when I play the piano, you'll hear it. Okay, and you can put even more on there if you want. It gets to the point where it gets lost, but like So the moral of the story is, it's not just the notes you play, but where you play them on the keyboard and what kind of effects you put on those notes. So in the next lesson, we'll take what we've learned so far and we'll apply it to a synthesizer and maybe some piano, and we will make a backing track. And you will have to decide which DAW you want to use. If you want to work right along with me, Cakewalk by BandLab is absolutely free. You could grab a copy of that and you'll be ready to go right step by step along with me. So with that said, I hope this is helpful, and we will see you in the next lesson. Thanks for listening.